To everyone listening with love, welcome back to English Odyssey. This is the place where your mind gets stronger, your thoughts get brighter, and your life becomes more meaningful. Today's episode is truly special. We're diving deep into something that has changed the world again and again. It's not technology, not money, not even education. It's something even more powerful: imagination. Yes, you heard it right. Imagination. That magical ability to picture what isn't there yet, to dream beyond limits, to create what no one has seen. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." And he wasn't exaggerating. Every invention, every great achievement, every step forward in human history, it all started with a simple, powerful thought. What if? This episode is going to help you understand why imagination isn't just for children or artists. It's for everyone. It's the engine of progress, the foundation of confidence, and the secret ingredient behind success. So sit back, open your heart, and let's unlock the most powerful gift inside you, your imagination. Step 1. Imagination is the seed of every reality. Close your eyes for a second and think about the most amazing things in the world. Airplanes flying in the sky, smartphones connecting us with someone across the globe in seconds, skyscrapers touching the clouds, or even music that makes your heart dance. Now ask yourself, where did all these come from? Were they always there? No, every single one of them started in someone's imagination. Long before the first airplane took flight, the Wright brothers imagined what it would be like to soar through the sky like a bird. Before the first telephone rang, Alexander Graham Bell imagined a world where voices could travel over wires. Imagination came first, reality followed. The truth is, your imagination is like a seed, and every great thing in life, big or small, begins with planting that seed in your mind. But just like real seeds, imagination needs care, patience, and belief to grow into reality. You can't just think about something once and expect it to magically happen. But you must begin with thinking it. Many people say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But successful people live by the opposite truth. "I'll see it when I believe it." That's the real power of imagination. It lets you see possibilities when others see problems. It allows you to believe in success when the world only shows failure. Think of someone living in a small village with no resources, no money, no network, no support. But that person dares to dream. They imagine a better life, a successful career, maybe a home for their family. That simple act of imagining something greater is already the beginning of change. Because once your mind expands to a new vision, your actions start to align with it, even if slowly, step by step. Here's something interesting. Your brain actually doesn't fully separate imagination from reality. When you visualize success in detail, the way it looks, sounds, feels, your brain starts preparing your body for it. That's why top athletes use mental visualization before big games. They imagine themselves winning, scoring, performing at their best, and it actually improves their real performance. But what about everyday people like you and me? The same rule applies. If you want to be a writer, start by imagining yourself writing amazing stories. If you want to start a business, picture yourself solving problems and helping people. If you want to change your life, you must first see that change in your mind, because if you don't, who else will? Now here's the hard truth. Most people don't even try to imagine better. Why? Because they're scared of being disappointed. They think, what if I imagine a better life and it never happens? But the real question is, what if it does? What if that small spark in your mind becomes a fire of change in your life? You don't need to know the how from the beginning. You just need to hold on to the what, the vision. The rest unfolds over time like a puzzle where each piece appears as you keep believing. So today I want you to take a quiet moment. Think about what your dream life looks like. Not just material things, but how you want to feel. What kind of person you want to be. What kind of impact you want to have. Let your imagination run wild. Don't judge it, don't shrink it, just feel it. Because imagination is not just a silly daydream. It is the beginning of transformation. It is the most human superpower we have. Everything you ever want to be, do, or have already exists in the world of your imagination, and from there it can be brought to life. Let that truth sink in. If you can imagine it, you can begin it, because imagination is everything. Step 2. Imagination builds self-belief. Have you ever watched a child play? They might be holding a stick, but in their mind it's a sword. They may be sitting in a cardboard box, but in their imagination it's a spaceship heading to the moon. Now here's the powerful part. They don't doubt it. They believe it. And that belief makes them feel strong, happy, fearless. But as we grow up, the world starts telling us to be realistic, stop dreaming and stay practical. Slowly, we stop believing in what we can imagine. And when imagination fades, so does self-belief. That's where many people lose the battle, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they stop believing in their own vision. Let me tell you something. Self-belief doesn't start with evidence. It starts with imagination. You don't need a trophy to imagine yourself as a champion. You don't need a business to imagine yourself as an entrepreneur. You don't need approval from others to imagine yourself as worthy. You just need the courage to believe in the picture your mind creates.
Think of Oprah Winfrey.
She grew up in poverty, faced abuse, and was told she wasn't fit for television. But deep inside, she imagined a different story. She imagined herself on screen, making a difference, speaking to millions. That inner picture gave her strength. Before the world saw her as anything, she saw herself as someone. That's the secret of self-belief. It begins in your imagination. Most people think, I'll believe in myself when I succeed, but it's actually the opposite. You succeed because you believe in yourself first. Imagination helps you rehearse that belief in advance. It's like a mental dress rehearsal for the person you're becoming. Let's say you're facing something tough, a job interview, an exam, a relationship challenge, or even just a hard day. You can either panic or pause and imagine yourself handling it with calm, confidence, and strength. That tiny shift in thought gives you emotional power. It's like programming your brain to believe, I've got this. Even if you failed before, imagination allows you to see yourself trying again, stronger this time. And don't worry if others laugh at your vision. People laughed at the idea of electric cars too. They laughed at the first airplane, at the first mobile phone, at the internet. Imagination often looks like foolishness to the small-minded, but to the ones who dare, it becomes faith. It becomes fuel. Here's another truth. Life will test your imagination. There will be setbacks, delays, doubts, people who don't believe in you. But those moments are when imagination matters most. Because when the outside world looks dark, you need an inner light. That light is the vision you hold inside your mind, the one that keeps whispering, keep going. It's possible. Now, let's make this practical. If you want to build more self-belief, try this simple habit. Spend 5 minutes a day imagining your best self. Not your perfect self, but your strongest, kindest, most determined self. See yourself handling life's challenges with grace. Picture yourself waking up early, working hard, helping others, achieving your goals, living with purpose. Feel it, own it. This isn't fantasy, this is training. You're training your mind to see yourself as capable. And once your mind accepts that image, your actions follow. You walk a little taller, you speak with more clarity, you stop seeking approval. Why? Because you've already seen who you are in your imagination.
There will be times when your current reality makes you doubt yourself. Maybe your bank account is low. Maybe you've been rejected. Maybe people ignore your ideas. But remember, the Wright brothers didn't wait for a runway, they built it. Steve Jobs didn't wait for people to believe in his vision, he imagined it until they did. You can do the same. Imagination is the foundation of self-belief. It lets you borrow strength from your future self. It allows you to rise above your current limitations. It says, I know where I am now, but I also know where I'm going. And that changes everything. So next time you feel small, stuck, or unsure, don't shrink your dreams. Don't cancel your plans. Don't silence your inner voice. Instead, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine the boldest version of yourself. The world may not see it yet, but you do. And that's where belief begins. Because imagination is not just about what you want to create, it's about who you believe you can become. Step 3. Imagination helps you solve problems and overcome challenges. Life is full of problems. That's no secret. Sometimes the problems are small, like running late or missing a deadline. Other times they're big, like losing a job, facing failure, or struggling with personal pain. But here's the thing. Problems are not the real enemy. The lack of imagination is. You see, every problem carries a message. Can you see another way? That's where imagination comes in. It helps you look at the same situation and find a new path. When logic says there's no way out, imagination whispers, what if there is? Let's take Thomas Edison, for example. He didn't just invent the light bulb by accident. He failed over 1,000 times. But instead of giving up, he imagined a world where darkness could be pushed away by human hands. That picture in his mind gave him the strength to keep trying, to keep solving. Most people think problem solving means being smart, but more often it means being creative. When your mind is open to possibilities, you find solutions no one else saw. That's the beauty of imagination. It lets you think beyond the obvious. Have you ever been stuck in a tough situation and thought, I just don't know what to do? That's normal. But the mistake most people make is this. They panic, shut down, and stop thinking. But if you pause and ask, what could I do? What haven't I tried? What would I do if I wasn't afraid? Your brain starts to wake up. Imagination kicks in. Even in your darkest days, imagination is like a flashlight. It doesn't erase the pain, but it shows you a path forward. It gives you a mental escape route, a hopeful version of reality to work toward. Let me share a story. There was a man who lost everything in a financial crisis. His business, his savings, even his home. For weeks he felt broken. But one night, instead of crying, he sat with a notebook and imagined what his life could look like in 5 years if he didn't give up. He drew pictures, wrote goals, designed plans, all imaginary at first. But those imaginary ideas became real steps. That man later built a new business and became more successful than ever. Why? Because he didn't just see the problem, he imagined a way through it. This is true in relationships too. When you're having conflict with someone, your imagination can help you understand how they feel. You can picture the situation from their point of view. That builds empathy, and empathy creates better solutions. Without imagination, we stay stuck in blame and anger. Even when we're scared of public speaking, of failure, of taking risks, imagination can help us rehearse success. You can see yourself speaking clearly, performing well, making progress. This mental rehearsal doesn't guarantee perfection, but it boosts your courage. You become more prepared, more confident, more willing to try. There's a reason why some of the world's top leaders, scientists, athletes, and artists rely on imagination during their hardest moments. It's not about escaping reality, it's about rebuilding it in your mind, so you can face it better in real life. But here's a key part most people miss. Imagination works best when combined with action. Don't just dream about a better life, take steps, even small ones, toward it. If you imagine yourself being healthy, start walking. If you imagine yourself being successful, start learning. If you imagine peace in your heart, start forgiving. Imagination is the spark, but action is the fuel. Some people say, but what if my imagination is too wild? What if it's unrealistic? Let me ask you this. Was flying realistic 500 years ago? Was landing on the moon realistic? Was the internet realistic in 1920? No, but someone imagined it anyway. And because they dared to imagine, the impossible became possible. Your problems are not permanent. They may be big, painful, even scary. But with imagination, you can shrink them. You can move around them. You can climb over them or even turn them into something meaningful. Think of your challenges like locked doors. Logic may say, I lost the key. But imagination says, what if I try a window? What if I build a new key? What if this door isn't the only way? The best part, every time you solve a problem using imagination, your mind gets stronger. You become more resourceful, more hopeful, and more unstoppable. So next time life throws something difficult your way, don't just complain or collapse. Take a breath, sit down, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what is one thing I haven't tried yet? What would my best self do right now? What's a solution no one else is seeing? That's imagination speaking. Let it speak louder. Let it guide you. Because imagination isn't just about dreaming of a better future. It's about surviving and thriving in the present. Step 4. Imagination shapes your future. Close your eyes for a moment and think about this. What does your future look like? Do you see yourself living your dream life, working in a job you love, helping others, traveling the world, having a peaceful family? Whatever your answer is, it all starts with one thing: imagination. Your future is not something that just happens to you. It's something you build step by step, thought by thought, dream by dream.
and imagination is the first brick in that building. You can't build a house without a blueprint. Similarly, you can't build a future without a vision. Imagination is your mental blueprint, the picture of the life you truly want. Most people live in the past. They think about what went wrong, who hurt them, what they failed at. But that keeps them stuck. Winners, dreamers, change makers. They live in the future. They see what hasn't happened yet. They feel what they want to experience, and they act today as if that future is already forming. That's the power of imagination. Let's talk about Walt Disney. He imagined a magical land where families could laugh and dream together. When he first shared his idea of Disneyland, people laughed at him. They thought it was impossible. But he didn't back down. He kept imagining it over and over until he found a way to make it real. Now, millions of people visit that dream every year. Here's the big lesson. If you don't imagine your future, someone else will decide it for you. Your school, your job, society, the opinions of others. But when you choose to imagine the life you want, you take back control, you stop drifting, you start designing. Maybe you want to be a writer or an athlete or a successful entrepreneur. Maybe you dream of starting a non-profit or creating art or raising a kind family. Whatever it is, your imagination must go there first. If you can't see it in your mind, you'll never chase it in real life. And here's the science behind it. Your brain can't tell the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. That means when you picture your future with emotion and clarity, your brain starts believing it's possible. It starts looking for ways to make it happen. You begin to notice opportunities, take better actions, and stay motivated. It's like your imagination is a GPS guiding you forward.
But let's be clear, imagination alone isn't enough. You need goals, you need consistency, you need action. But without imagination, your actions have no direction. You might be working hard, but are you working toward what truly matters to you? That's why you must start with vision. Take time each day, even just 5 minutes, to imagine the future you want. Don't just see the end result, feel the journey. Imagine yourself waking up early, working with purpose, growing through challenges, celebrating progress. This practice isn't silly. It's strategy. Top athletes do it. Great leaders do it. Even astronauts do it before launching into space. Some people will say, but life is uncertain. The future is unpredictable. That's true. But it's also true that you're the one writing your next chapter. Yes, life will throw curveballs. Yes, some dreams may shift, but your imagination gives you direction, even in the middle of chaos. Think of your imagination like a compass. It won't remove the storms, but it helps you keep walking north toward the life you believe in. Let's make it practical. If you want to be healthier, imagine your future self strong, active, and happy. If you want to be financially free, imagine your future self managing money wisely, giving generously, and living without debt. If you want to be emotionally at peace, imagine yourself responding with calm, building strong relationships, and sleeping with a smile. Then every day do one small thing that matches that picture, and remember, no dream is too big if your imagination is strong enough. You don't need permission to dream, you don't need guarantees. You just need faith and a picture so clear that you can't help but chase it. Even when nobody claps for you, even when the progress is slow, even when fear tries to stop you, come back to your imagination, revisit that future, recharge your vision, and remind yourself, I'm not living for today's comfort. I'm building tomorrow's greatness, because imagination doesn't just help you dream, it gives you direction. It reminds you of what's possible. It turns ordinary people into legends, one thought at a time. So never stop imagining. Your future is waiting, not to be found, but to be created by you. Step 5. Imagination fuels innovation and success. Take a moment and look around you. Your phone, your watch, the chair you're sitting on, the building you're in, even the internet you're using right now. Every one of these started as someone's imagination. Nothing that we call modern or successful came without someone first imagining it. That's why imagination is not a luxury. It's not just for artists or dreamers. It's the fuel of innovation and success. Think of every invention you've ever used. Airplanes, light bulbs, smartphones, electric cars. None of these existed until someone imagined a world where they did. The Wright brothers imagined humans flying in the sky when everyone else laughed. Steve Jobs imagined a world where technology fits in your pocket. Elon Musk imagined electric cars and rockets landing themselves. These people didn't wait for proof. They believed in their vision before the world could see it. That's the magic of imagination. You might be thinking, but I'm not an inventor. That doesn't matter. Innovation isn't just about creating new products. It's about creating new solutions. It's about asking, How can I do this better? That's something everyone can do, in business, in school, in relationships, in health, and in personal growth. Let's say you're struggling in your job. A person with no imagination will just keep suffering, blaming others, and staying stuck. But someone with imagination will ask, what if I tried a different approach? What if I offered a new idea to my boss? What if I started learning a new skill on the side? That mindset shift is where success begins. It's not about where you are now, it's about what you can envision next. Even in everyday life, imagination drives success. Think about a teacher who finds creative ways to inspire students, or a parent who turns everyday moments into joyful lessons, or an employee who brings fresh ideas to the table. These people don't need huge inventions, they just need imagination to turn the ordinary into something powerful. Imagination is also the secret behind resilience when life hits you hard. When a plan fails or a goal falls apart, most people give up. But those who rise again are usually the ones who imagine something better on the other side of failure. They turn their pain into purpose. They imagine success where others see dead ends. That mindset is what separates survivors from champions. And it's not just for individuals. Businesses thrive on imagination. Every successful brand you know, Apple, Nike, Google, Netflix, was built on bold, imaginative ideas. They didn't just follow the rules, they reimagined them. They asked, what if we do this differently? What if we break the pattern? That's how innovation is born. Now here's something important to remember. Imagination is free. You don't need money to imagine. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. All you need is the courage to believe in your ideas. Success doesn't always start with experience. Sometimes it starts with a question, a picture in your mind, a dream so big that it scares you. That's okay. In fact, that's exactly where success begins. If you want to grow in your life financially, emotionally, socially, you need to imagine more. You need to look beyond your limitations and ask, what if? What if I start my own business? What if I improve my communication? What if I stop doubting myself? What if I become the version of me I've always dreamed of? These questions open doors, they spark ideas, and those ideas lead to action. That's the path to success. It's never straight, but it's always powered by imagination. Even when you fail, and yes, you will fail sometimes, imagination keeps you moving. It helps you learn from the failure and redesign your future. You think, okay, this didn't work, what else can I try? That's innovation, that's growth, that's strength. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now. Start by imagining a bigger version of your life. Let yourself dream boldly. Write down your ideas, even if they seem crazy. Talk about them, build on them, make small moves toward them, because success doesn't always shout. Sometimes it starts as a quiet voice in your head saying, what if you really could? And here's a truth that very few people understand. The world belongs to those who dare to imagine. They may not always be the smartest, the richest, or the strongest, but they're the ones who see what others don't. They're the ones who turn invisible dreams into visible reality. So if you're serious about success, don't just work hard, imagine smart. Don't just follow the crowd, imagine beyond the crowd. Don't just accept things as they are, imagine them as they could be. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to believe in one possibility, that your imagination is powerful enough to change your life. And trust me, it is. Step 6, imagination can change the world. Think about the greatest changes in human history, the movements, the revolutions, the inventions, the progress. Every single one of them began in the same place, someone's imagination. One person, somewhere in the world had a thought. What if things could be better? That single question has changed the course of humanity again and again. You don't have to be famous to make a difference. You just need the courage to imagine something different, something better. When Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I have a dream," it wasn't just a speech. It was imagination in action. He imagined a world where people weren't judged by skin color. That imagination shook the world and continues to inspire generations. Look at Malala Yousafzai. She imagined a world where girls had the right to education, even when others tried to silence her. Her vision made her a global symbol of courage. Or Greta Thunberg, a teenager who imagined a healthier planet and used her voice to spark worldwide environmental movements. This is what imagination does. It sees pain but dreams of healing. It sees injustice but dreams of fairness. It sees struggle but dreams of strength. And when that imagination is matched with belief and action, it becomes unstoppable. You may be thinking, I'm just one person. What difference can I make? But here's the truth. Every world changer was once just one person. They weren't born with superpowers. They simply chose to imagine boldly when everyone else played it safe. And your imagination doesn't just change the world, it changes the people around you. When you start dreaming big, you inspire others to do the same. When you speak with vision, people listen. When you live with purpose, you become a light. Your friends, your family, your community, they feel it. They start to believe too. That's the ripple effect of imagination. It spreads, it grows. One idea sparks another. One bold action gives birth to 10 more. That's how change begins. Not with millions of dollars or government plans, but with the imagination of an ordinary person who refuses to stay ordinary. And remember, the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more vision. It needs people who dare to think differently, people who ask hard questions, people who imagine new ways to solve old problems, people who don't just complain but create. Think of the next generation, the kids growing up today. What kind of world will they inherit? That depends on the imagination of the people leading today. That means you, your ideas, your dreams, your boldness. They matter more than you think. Don't hide them. Don't shrink yourself to fit into a broken system. Stand tall, dream big, show the world what's possible. And let's be honest, not every idea will work. Some dreams will take years. Some may need to evolve. You might even face rejection or failure. But never let that stop you, because the dream you carry might be the solution someone else is praying for. The idea you're afraid to share might be the very thing that changes a life or saves one. So take responsibility for your imagination. Protect it, feed it, talk about it, write it down. Surround yourself with people who lift it higher, and every single day remind yourself, the world I want doesn't exist yet because I haven't built it yet. This isn't just motivation, this is truth. Imagination is the most powerful human tool. It gave us airplanes, freedom, internet, music, art, science, medicine, and even hope, and now it's your turn to use it. Let today be the day you stop doubting your dreams. Let today be the day you start imagining a life, a career, a purpose, and a world that makes you proud. You don't have to get it perfect, you just have to get it going. So, dear dreamers, listeners, and believers, we've just walked through a journey that started with one simple truth. Imagination is everything. Not money, not fame, not a perfect background, but your ability to imagine, to see beyond the now, to believe in a future that doesn't exist yet. That is what shapes your destiny. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you're facing, your imagination is your greatest power. It's your map when you're lost, your wings when you feel stuck, and your voice when the world feels silent. So don't limit yourself. Don't shrink your dreams to match your situation. Instead, expand your imagination to match your potential, because the moment you start imagining big, your life starts moving in that direction. And always remember, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their imagination. If this message touched your heart, if even one line made you think differently, then don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. This is English Odyssey, your favorite destination for motivation, self-growth, and learning English the smart way. If you believe in becoming the best version of yourself, then subscribe now, hit that bell icon, and join our powerful family of thinkers and doers. Because here, we don't just dream, we imagine, act, and rise. Until next time, keep imagining, keep growing, and keep shining.